Part 1, Extended. She stood there for a moment after setting her phone down, like she expected it to vibrate back to life and pull her away anyway. When it didn't, she wrapped her arms around herself, not cold, just overwhelmed. You realize, she said quietly, that I was 5 minutes from leaving. I know. And now? She asked. Now, I said, lowering my voice, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Her laugh came out breathless. You're dangerously confident all of a sudden. No, I corrected. I'm finally honest. She looked away, pacing a few steps toward the window. Outside, the city lights flickered, cars moving, people going on dates, making choices that felt simple from a distance. She pressed her forehead lightly against the glass. I didn't plan this, she said. Tonight was supposed to be easy. Dinner. Small talk. No expectations. And with me? I asked. She turned. With you, nothing is ever easy. That wasn't an accusation. It was a confession. I leaned against the arm of the couch, giving her space. Then why do you keep choosing complicated? Her eyes softened. Because complicated feels real. The room fell quiet again, filled with things neither of us had said out loud before. The way she'd linger in the kitchen when I cooked. The way I always noticed when she wore that necklace, the one she claimed meant nothing. You know what scared me the most? She asked suddenly. What? That when you didn't stop me earlier, I thought you didn't care. That stung. I straightened. I cared too much, I said. I was afraid if I crossed that line, I'd ruin everything. And now, I realized I already had, I said. By staying silent. She stepped closer, slowly, like she was testing the ground between us. I told him yes, she said. Because I was tired of waiting. For me? I asked. She nodded. For you to see me. I exhaled, rubbing a hand over the back of my neck. I've always seen you. That's not the same, she replied softly. Seeing isn't choosing. That landed hard. I took a step toward her, then stopped. Then let me choose now. She searched my face, looking for hesitation, for doubt. She didn't find it. You're not just stopping a date, she said. You're asking for something bigger. I know. What if we don't work? She whispered. What if we do? I countered. She smiled faintly. You always do that. Do what? Make risk sound like home. We stood inches apart now. I could see the small freckle near her collarbone, the slight tremor in her hands. I resisted the urge to reach out. Not because I didn't want to, but because I wanted her choice to be unmistakable. I need you to understand something, she said. If I stay, I'm not staying halfway. I wouldn't accept that. Her lips parted slightly. She nodded once, like she'd made a decision that couldn't be undone. Okay, she said. Just one word, but it carried weight. I smiled, slow and careful. Okay. She let out a shaky breath, then laughed. I can't believe I got dressed up for someone else. I'm not complaining, I said. You look incredible. Her cheeks flushed. Now you say it. I've always thought it, I replied. I just didn't think I had the right. She stepped closer again, this time close enough that I could feel her warmth. She reached up, fingers brushing my sleeve. Tell me this isn't just a moment, she said. Tell me you're not going to wake up tomorrow and pretend this didn't happen. I covered her hand with mine, steady and deliberate. I'm done pretending. Her eyes glistened, but she didn't cry. Instead, she smiled, small, real. Then, she said, I should probably change out of this dress. My eyebrow lifted. Why? Because if I stay in it, she said, I'll keep feeling like I'm about to leave. That made sense. She turned toward her room, then paused at the doorway. You're not coming, right? I shook my head. This is your moment. I'll be right here. She nodded, disappearing inside. The apartment felt different without her presence in the room, quieter, heavier. I sat back down, heart racing like I'd just crossed a finish line I didn't know I was running toward. From the bedroom, I heard drawers opening, the soft rustle of fabric. No rush, no panic, just a woman choosing to stay. When she came back out, she was wearing one of my hoodies, oversized, sleeves too long, hair loose around her shoulders. My chest tightened. She caught my look and smiled. This okay? It's perfect, I said honestly. She walked over and sat beside me on the couch, not touching, but close enough that our knees brushed. So, she said, what now? I turned toward her. Now we stop pretending we don't feel this. She nodded. And tomorrow, we figure it out, I said. Together. She leaned her head against my shoulder, tentative, testing. I didn't move. After a second, she relaxed, settling in like she'd always belonged there. Outside, the city kept moving. But in that moment, everything finally stood still. Part 2, what staying really means. She didn't move for a long time. Her head rested against my shoulder, her weight light but unmistakably there. I could feel her breathing, slow, uneven at first, then gradually steadier, like she was convincing herself this wasn't a mistake. I didn't touch her. Not yet. That felt important. You're thinking too hard, I said quietly. She huffed out a soft laugh. You don't know that. I do, I replied. You get quiet when you're trying to outthink your own heart. She tilted her head just enough to look up at me. You've been paying attention. Always. That answer hung between us. Heavy. Honest. She straightened slightly, pulling back just enough to look at me properly. Her eyes searched my face, not for charm or confidence, but for certainty. Say it again, she said. Say what? That you're done pretending. I didn't hesitate. I'm done pretending. She nodded slowly, as if locking the words into place. Good. Because I can't do this if you disappear the moment it gets uncomfortable. I won't. You don't know that, she challenged. I do, I said. Because I already tried disappearing. And it didn't work. That made her smile, small, real, a little sad. She stood up and walked toward the kitchen, grabbing a glass from the cabinet. Her movements were familiar, domestic, intimate in a way that made my chest ache. She filled the glass with water, drank, then leaned back against the counter. This is the part where things get complicated, she said. They already were, I replied. No, she said gently. Before, it was just tension. Unspoken. Safe, in a way. Now it's choice. She was right. Choice came with consequences. I don't want to hurt anyone, she continued. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and feel like the villain in someone else's story. You're not, I said. You don't know him, she replied. He's not a bad guy. I didn't say he was. She looked at me, studying my reaction. You're not jealous. I am, I admitted. I'm just not angry at you for saying yes. That seemed to catch her off guard. You're allowed to be angry, she said. I know, I replied. But I'd rather be honest. She crossed the room slowly, stopping in front of me. Then be honest about this. She gestured between us. What exactly are we doing? I stood up so we were face to face again. Close, but not touching. The air felt charged, like one wrong move could either change everything, or break it. We're seeing if what's been building between us is strong enough to hold weight, I said. Real weight, not just late-night conversations and shared silences. And if it's not, then we stop before it turns into resentment. Her brow furrowed. You make it sound so reasonable. I'm trying to respect you. She laughed softly. That might be the most dangerous thing you could do. Why? Because it makes me trust you. The word trust settled deep in my chest. She took a breath, then did something unexpected. She reached out and took my hand. Not dramatic, not rushed, just intentional. Her fingers were warm, steady. No hesitation this time. I don't want to run, she said quietly. I don't want easy anymore. I squeezed her hand gently. Neither do I. She held my gaze for a long moment, then nodded, like she'd made peace with something. Okay, she said again. But this time, it meant more. We sat back down on the couch, closer now. Her leg brushed mine and stayed there. No flinching. No retreat. My phone is going to buzz, she said suddenly. When? Soon, she replied. He'll check in. And when it does, she said, looking at me carefully, I'm not answering. I didn't tell her what that meant. She already knew. A few minutes passed. We talked about nothing and everything, work, the way time had slipped by without either of us noticing, how strange it felt to finally say things out loud. Then it happened. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. Once. The sound cut through the room like a sharp inhale. She looked at it. Didn't reach for it. Her shoulders tensed, but she stayed still. You okay? I asked. She nodded. Yeah, just closing a door. You don't have to explain, I said. I want to, she replied. Because I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. I smiled. That's exactly how it should be. She picked up the phone, typed a short message, then set it face down. What did you say? I asked, not because I needed to know, but because I wanted her to say it out loud. She swallowed. That I realized I wasn't ready. That I didn't want to start something when my heart was already somewhere else. My breath caught. She looked at me then, eyes steady. You're my somewhere else. I didn't kiss her. Not yet. Instead, I rested my forehead against hers. Close enough to feel her breath, to feel the truth of that statement settling into both of us. Thank you, I said quietly. For what? For choosing honestly. She smiled, closing her eyes. Now you don't get to waste this. I won't, I promised. She leaned in then, not fast, not hesitant. Just a slow meeting in the middle. When our lips finally touched, it wasn't explosive. It was certain, like something finding its place. When we pulled back, she rested her head against my chest, listening to my heartbeat. So, she murmured, what happens next? I wrapped an arm around her, finally allowing myself that closeness. Next, I said, we take it one step at a time. She smiled. Good. Outside, the city kept moving. But inside, something had shifted permanently. And neither of us wanted to go back.